Melody does have a conversation with the Crown Prince over this invocation because the Crown Prince shows up to the department and basically enforces the Melody to explain things to him. And the Melody's like, well, I can't give you all the details. That's not how I work. But I will give you some information. Like, I won't give you all of it because the Crown Prince is doing the whole, I gave you all of this and I did all of this for you and you're not going to tell me what's going on. And they have a conversation, and we're not given all the information of what this conversation was about, but it sure does lead the Melody to prison. I'm going to try my best to explain how the Melody ended up in prison. So basically, the Right Chancellor did a bunch of stuff in the background that made it out. So the Emperor got a vision or illusion of the former emperor, a female emperor, and she basically accused the noble consort of being a vixen, someone to ruin their kingdom. And when the emperor woke up, he basically followed the trail that the Right Chancellor set up for him to make it look like the Crown Prince, and the Melide was the one who made this illusion creation to accuse the noble consort, and even showed the emperor that they've been going and investigating the tombs. And the dude that the main character had been jealous of also speaks against the main character, the Melide, and the Department of Exorcism, again making them look bad in front of the emperor. And the Melide is arrested for it. The Melide tries telling the emperor what they've been investigating, but the emperor is not hearing of it. He is very much has the Right Chancellor and his heir, and so the Melide is arrested. Before the Melide was arrested, the third heart demon of the Right Chancellor showed up, and he has a connection in relations to this man, and he is either the noble consort's godson or the noble consort's sister's godson. I can't remember which one it is, but he's the godson of one of the two of them. That is his connection to the Right Chancellor. But he shows up, and when his party arrives, because he's a very high position military man, the scholar tested him and his men, and they obviously fell for his ploy, fell for the test, and he was able to reveal their identities. But it's not in front of everybody, it just revealed to him, and he informs the others of this. The main character, when he finds out his husband had been arrested, he obviously wants to storm the palace, and the others have to convince him out of it, but obviously it doesn't really work, so the Persian prince decides to help the main character sneak in. And they come across the Persian prince's elder marshal brother, who helps them get to the Melide, and those two decide to have a conversation about an item the eldest marshal brother is searching for, that their teacher couldn't even find, but he knows it exists and he will find it, and he has an idea where it most likely is. The main character goes and has a conversation with the Melide, which the Melide is like, I'm not leaving this location, I am staying right here, which, obviously displeases the main character. Just like the Melide had expected, the Right Chancellor, he shows up and he tells the Melide and the main character that he wants to make a deal. He wants them to deal with the third heart demon, and if they deal with that, he will take off with the noble consort. He will disappear. He will leave their kingdom alone. He also states that he has no plans to wage a war for another 100 years. That he just needs them to take this little problem for him and take care of it. Obviously, they do not believe what he is saying. Like, he can't be trusted as far as he can be thrown. Like, this man can't be trusted, and he really much shows that when he snatches up the main character and kidnaps him for a little period of time. He even has a conversation with the main character, which is that the main character was always supposed to be his disciple, and that his adopted father and uncle ruined that for him. The character is returned back to the Melide, and the Melide, he had escaped his prison cell. He originally was going to stay in it, but now that he needs to take care of the third heart demon and the Right Chancellor, he escaped his prison cell, and they're all back at the Department of Exorcism. They're figuring out what they're going to do. The Melide and the main character is going to go instigate something. They sent the Persian prince to go instigate the third heart demon. I was a little confused of where everyone was going, but this is like the most idea I have of where they were being split up to. Thanks to all of the information the main character has been given He is very much in turmoil. He's very upset. He needs to see his past for his own eyes. So he convinces the deer to basically put him in dreamland to go back to all of his memories and see the past for his own eyes. Seeing the past for his own eyes, he can see that his father and the right chancellor were friends, but also enemies. They would fight each other in battles, but at the same time be friends. Also, we see the main character and Melly's relationship with each other when they were kids before their memories were erased. And the Melid was shameless. Like, he fell for the main character from the very first moment. He desired and wanted the main character. He was flirting with him. He was calling him his wife. He was telling his classmates the main character was his wife. He was gifting the main character clothes and jewelry and hairpins. Like, anything he could put on the main character, he would. He was constantly feeding the main character. He was just being a little shameless boy. He was always telling the main character, "Are you going to give me kisses? I deserve kisses, don't I? I deserve to have kisses from my wife." And I'm like, "You little shameless brat. You are super shameless." Like, he knew what he wanted, and he was going to make sure the main character was going to be his future wife. And no one was going to stop him. The main character also informed the Melly that he had a monster inside him. And at the time, the Melly didn't believe him until he witnesses his own eyes. One of the times, his schoolmates tried attacking him and the main character, and he was badly injured. And the darkness released in the main character, and the main character was making a humongous havoc to the point his dad and the right chancellor had to step in and stop the main character. And this is when the Malid learned the truth, and the main character's dad didn't erase the Melid's memories at this time because he knew that even if the Melid forgot the main character wouldn't forget the Melid. So he just makes the Melid promise that if anything happens, he will step in and protect the main character, that he will stop this from ever happening again. And the Melid agrees, and the Melid stops going to school after this and spends every quality new moment with the main character. Deer was the one witnessing the past with the main character, but sooner or later gets woken up by the Melid and the wolf, and the Melid takes his place. But at this point, the main character was not just watching it as someone from the outside, he was witnessing it with his own eyes in the body of his younger self. And when the Melid stepped into the dream, into the past, he also jumped into his old body, his childhood body. And so he gets to witness some of the stuff himself. And sooner or later, he does reveal that it is him, the current version of him, which wakes up the main character and him. Obviously, seeing that they were childhood friends, childhood sweethearts, he wants to know why the main character hadn't told him. When has the main character find out? Why does he not remember that they were childhood sweethearts? But the main character, he's refusing to answer him to the point he's like, "I promise I won't ask, but like, why won't you tell me? I will wait, but why aren't you telling me now?" kind of thing. And the main character, he's getting very upset over it. Like, the male lead had to basically promise not to ask, but he, can't help himself. He wants to know, and it's also kind of hypocritical on the main character because, again, the main character gets upset when the male lead holds back information from him, but he's doing the same thing to the male lead. But to get the male lead to shut up, he's like, "I promise we'll go all the way if you can let this go." And the male lead's like, "Oh, okay. You keep that promise tonight. We're going to have some fun." Wolf tells the deer the idea he came up from the main character. He's like, "Well, I don't have romantic feelings for you. I might never have those feelings for you, but we can be friends, right?" And the deer's like, "You can do whatever you want," gets huffy and leaves him. Like, this is going to be a mess, isn't it? Their side relationship is going to be a mess.